I am going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, -1.5 against the Green Bay Packers. And this is one of my favorite spots to take the Buccaneers. And everything, it's kind of a weird buy low spot on the Bucs, even though they win and won and covered against their nemesis, the Saints, finally. Unfortunately for the six-pack last week, but I guess great for Tampa Bay. But, Green Bay handled their business against Chicago, won comfortably, covered the spread. They got a couple players back. Lazard scored a touchdown. Elton Jenkins got mentioned like 20 times by Chris Collinsworth. So everyone's like, okay, the Packers are back. The Bucs are completely banged up. Oh my God, easy grab the dog here. This is the spot to grab the Packers. Nah, looking at the Packers team and what they're going through right now. All right, it's the same offense. You got a Hall of Fame quarterback. The Bucs with no receivers are the Packers. Like, it's the same thing. It's the Packers receivers, Lazard and all these guys. Maybe they'll turn into something. Dobbs, I like Dobbs. I think Watson has potential. But right now, the Packers receivers are essentially, the Bucs receivers banged up. Hall of Fame quarterback, good enough offensive line, and good running back. So the offenses are the same. The edge in this matchup, the reason I'm taking the Bucs is because they have ways to mess up Aaron Rodgers on defense. Number one, if they want, they're going to be able to get pressure without having to send a ton of extra rushers. That's something that's always key. And then not only that, but they're able to cover on the back end. You have Jamel Dean allowing a passer rating of 13 this season. That's worse than just if a quarterback threw the ball into the dirt every single play. Shout out to Jaguar Gator 9 if you watch his stuff on YouTube. Love his videos, but he always brings that up. That's worse than that. You still have Carlton Davis. They're playing 3 safety. Murphy Bunting hasn't even got off the bench. It's probably the best iteration of the Bucs defense that they've had in this time. They're mostly healthy. Akeem Hicks is out, but that's about it. And then you look at Rodgers. Okay, he played Tampa Bay twice in 2020. Week 6, 16 to 35, 160 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks, 4 sacks. Rematch against Tampa Bay. He throws a lot more and gets a little bit more yardage, 33 or 48, 346. So that looked good. 3 touchdowns, but got picked again and got sacked 5 times. So in the 2 games against Tampa, Rodgers averages 6.1 yards an attempt, 1.5 interceptions per game, and 4.5 sacks per game. Versus everyone else, 8 yards an attempt, 0.2 interceptions, and 1.6 sacks over that span. So he's averaging 2 yards per attempt less. His interceptions go up 7-fold. His sacks go up 3-fold against his defense. And the crazy thing was, in those 2 matchups, the first time they blitzed him 49% of the time. The second time they blitzed him 40% of the time. So they can also bring blitzes at him. And I think that in this type of matchup, without Davante Adams, that could also be effective because they can cover. They can they're not going to be scared to just man up these receivers. They just have so many different options. So the edge in this matchup for me has nothing to do with the Bucs being banged up on offense, because the numbers come down. It was 3.5 at one point. Now you're getting that. I got it at 1. Actually, no, I got the money line, but it's the line is at 1 when I bet the money line, and it's hovering between 1.5. It was at 3.5. So you're getting the discount for no Evans, no Godwin, maybe no Julio as well. Donovan Smith likely to miss again as well. Although Brandon Walton, who replaced Josh Wells, who replaced Smith, because Wells is going to be out too now, undrafted free agent from FAU. He actually graded as the 9th best pass blocker at PFF among 67 tackles last week, 22 snaps, no pressures. So, might not be as much of an issue as, we're making it out to be. But either way, you're getting the discount on the line for that. So the edge is in the fact that I don't think people realize how this Bucs defense can get after Aaron Rodgers. So, and by the way, Bucs, because you're essentially, the line is at a place where you're essentially taking them to win the game. They lost at home twice last year. New Orleans 9-0. That's New Orleans. We know what happens with New Orleans. And in the playoffs. And that was that Rams game, 30-27. And going back the last 2 years, since Brady's been there, 4 of their 5 home losses are against the Saints and Rams. So, and the other one is against the Chiefs in a game where Tyreek Hill put up like 200 yards in the first quarter. And the Packers don't have Davante Adams. So I think edge, Bucks defense. Give me the Bucks -1.5.
Yeah, I'll get into this a little bit. Another angle I have here, but we have to see if Bakhtiari will play, which will matter.
Didn't practice again.
today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the Packers will run a fair amount of zone, which is never a smart idea against Brady. But this Bucks offense sucks right now. I mean, it is awful to watch. You could tell the interior pressure, the lack of receivers. The only drive they put together in the entire game against the Saints was Sean Hockley, like calling unnecessary roughnesses on 4th downs, and like that was it. They were punting on 4th and 10, and they called Roby for a personal foul for Cameron Brate ducking his head into him, and that was it. That was their only touchdown. So I think the Packers defense can have similar success. But what is the Packers offense right now? It is like we need to run the ball. You can't run the ball against Tampa. They're not gonna they don't have any advantages on the outside. So this total has come way down, and it's 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. By the way, the 2 most profitable quarterbacks to back over the past 20 years, right around 59%. This total's come way down. And normally I'd be like, I was talking about the overreactions. I agree with the move. I actually might play the first half under. I think this will be like 3-3, 6-3 at the half. Maybe, Brady or, pops a couple in the second half. But I think the defenses will dominate this game. I don't mind you taking the lane 1 with Tampa.
Oh, by the way,
super low scoring.
By the way, Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, favored under a field goal in his career, 11-6 against the spread. But against Rodgers, he's played him 4 times, 3-1 against the spread, won each of the last 3, and beats the spread by an average of 11.5 points per game. And a lot of that is the defense. So Rodgers, 30.1 rating under pressure through 2 games this year, 5th worst among 33 qualified passers. So, it's one of those situations where it doesn't happen often. Rodgers doesn't get into these pressure situations often. Most defenses just aren't capable of doing that, but they're going to be able to do it more this year and the Bucks can do it perfectly because again, they can cover and they can rush. So yeah, give me Bucks.